Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. The games begin. This is Motorsport Manager, and it's week 33 of competition. I'm now pushing in towards mid-season, but I have a longer season than what I'm used to. I've had either 8 or 9 races per season for a while now, and suddenly there's 13 races in this division, so quite a bit more going on, much more in length. I have done one race off camera. I managed a 10th place finish, which was decent considering I was struggling towards the back through much of the race. But that was not good enough for points. So I remain on the 9 points that I was able to score on the first race of the season. I have yet to add to that point total in the following 2 races. Balance-wise, still looking pretty good, though I have invested in a lot of parts since the start of the season, and I'm slowly losing a little bit of money. But I can certainly keep up pace-wise with where I'm at, and I could actually probably get a little more money out of the chairman if I wanted, as her objective is to finish 10th or above, and every race I will be able to finish 10th or above. So actually it might not be a bad idea to do that. And actually, yeah, let's see here. Request additional funds. Oh, that's all he's willing to offer at this time? Well, never mind then. That's a pretty small amount of money. Anyway, the car has improved slightly. It's still 9th, but it's not pretty much flat bottomed where it was before. It's starting to climb its way up. See, the rear wing, we're 6th now. Haven't touched the suspension of the gearbox yet, but the brakes are up to 6th, and the front wing is up to 8th. And we are working on another front wing now. That'll complete the cycle on the front wing, and then we'll move on to either the gearbox or the suspension next. Nick DeVries has a dodgy neck. It's been since the end of the race on the last episode that we had, so our race off camera was done with Nick DeVries and his fitness at 3 instead of 13. So that was hurting a little bit, but didn't affect things too much. It's not the endurance races where that matters quite a bit more. So there was the last race. Qualified 10th, finished 10th. And that was Cape Town, a track I had not been to in that previous series. So next season, assuming that I'm still in Tier 2 in the Asia Pacific Super Cup, also known as Formula 2, I'll have to make sure that that is one of the tracks that makes it onto an episode. And looking at the parts now, here's where we're at the moment. So both of them have reliable brakes, though DeVries has the better. I will eventually make another nice one for Verline, but I'll wait until I have kind of everything smoothed out. I do have my newest front wing, which is better than the other two, and I have one more being made, so this one will definitely be in circulation. It is one of the parts that's being improved upon right now, but you can see the reliability is not there yet. So the better of the 2 front wings is on DeVries, and now Verline's at least got a decent one. Still not on the gearbox or the suspension, so that one's going to hurt Verline a little bit. But rear wing wise, we're looking pretty good at this point. Right, so we're heading to a very familiar track. We're heading to Sochi. For this tier, we call it the Black Sea GP. That rhymes. And for those who are unfamiliar, this is a real track. They all are, I think. But this was where the Sochi Winter Olympics were held not so long ago, and then they started hosting the Formula One race there the very next year. Alright, let's set up our weight stripping. Verline is getting a little bit now. These two parts definitely hurt though, under 60%. 80 is definitely that safe zone. Anything below about 75 will occasionally run into danger. There we go. So Verline's going to pick up 125. DeVries is going to pick up 210 in performance, and DeVries already has a slightly better car. So DeVries definitely has the higher performing and, in the case of two parts, a more reliable car. And so far, Verline has finished ahead of DeVries once, but it was also by just a single position, so DeVries was just behind Verline in that race. Let's see here, tire choice, let's go with the mediums. And it looks like we might need to pick up a little bit on the speed balance. Let's get back up there. That'll be the minimum point based on kind of where the two cars are at. They're never identical, but they're always similar. Wait. Race trim first. Now that I've had a chance to do a few races, I've kind of picked out tactically what I prefer to do now with these practice sessions at this level, being that it's a little different, a little bit longer, plus there will be qualifying. So as a result, I try to lock down my race setup first. So the first piece is getting the cars right. So that's priority number one. So I send them out and I bring them right back in, just like I used to do, even though I have longer sessions. They're not that long of sessions. They're just slightly longer. So that's the first piece. Second piece, getting the race trim completely up to level 3 and simultaneously getting the harder compound tire up to level 3 as well, being that is what I need for the race in both setups or both situations. Alright, so speed balance, nailed it on the first try. That is awesome. Downforce, let's see, the other car I think was limited here and then going towards high downforce. So I'm going to try to go that way a bit. And then the handling, same thing actually, I believe. So it was going towards understeer quite a bit. And then if we lock that down, speed balance, and maybe a little more, there we go. And that it was poor. Okay. So those are my top 3 priorities. Get the car right, and then get the bonuses for the race, and then I start going for quali bonuses. So that's why I try to grab the softer compound tire and the qualifying trim. Alright, we nailed speed balance here as well. Handling and downforce were both just as far off, and yes, that was right that I needed to push left on both of these, which means probably the other car's got the same scenario on that. Alright, hey, save 5 seconds, not needing to change the camber at all. Okay, both cars are back out on the track. We'll get them back in again. And just like before, it's practice. Practice times really do not matter in the slightest. Right, 96%, just like that. We are so close. The handling, just a little off. Could be one way or the other, really. So we want to make that small adjustment. And they'll stay out for a full stint now, as will Verline, as both of them are very, very close. We'll make the small adjustment when they come back in later. We'll know if we've got it right or whether we need to make another small adjustment. So we were okay before, maybe a little less. Okay, let's get both cars back out there, and we'll run at least one hot lap for them. Maybe more. It'll depend on where those unlocks are at. Okay, there's their first hot lap. They've both gotten to the point where Race Trim 2 is unlocked. Let's go a little deeper then. Yep. So going around, it's very short lap times, under a minute here. This is just about the shortest version of the lap that can be done out there. Not much shorter than this. A lot of straightaway speed. Ooh, I should have brought one of them in. There we go, Race Trim 3. Okay, so they're both coming in this time. I should have brought one of them in already, knowing that I would have made it around. Hurts the quali and quali bonuses. Lost for words here. I'm recording at a time that is different from my normal time. It's throwing me off. Alright, so we went the wrong way on the handling. We went from great to good. Okay, so we need to come back and go the other way, and that should work still on the speed balance. Okay, race trim, and switch into the softs. Alright, so we went up to 97% and actually lost. So handling needs to come back to the right just a hair. But the downforce went the right way. Otherwise I wouldn't have gained a percentage, presumably. Speed balance did move also just a tiny bit. So I need to get handling to the right, but I need to get downforce to the right as well. Okay. Try that. Switch to the qualifying trim and soft tire. 22 seconds, that's going to take a little while, but that's okay. Alright, we'll get out there and run them. With qualifying trim, they're not going to be out there for terribly long. They will have a set time. De Vries just set the fastest first sector, and he's not pushing it, he's just driving. Okay, both coming in. Oh, speed balance now. Just a hair off. 98%. To the right. Speed balance needs to go to the right. That's too much. Okay, that's the right amount, but then I need to get the handling back over. Okay, I think that'll do it. Oh yeah, there we go. 100% optimum balance. That's nice. Qualifying trim. Soft tires. Off you go. And they're both heading out. 2.5 minutes. Chance to up those bonuses a bit. Got them to level 2. If I can get both cars back around for another lap, and I did, I might make it to a level 3 bonus. Oh, I think I'm gonna come up just short. So close. Time's up. Time's up. Oh, they're both coming back in. Didn't make it. Ah, so close. Had I gotten that one car changed out earlier, when I had that chance, when I saw that I was approaching Tier 3, I would have brought one in. One more lap for one of those cars would have been enough. So close. But still, quality bonuses for the qualifying session. Okay, weight stripping's where I want it. And we have soft tires and qualifying trim. Would have been a whole 10% bonus more, so it would have been 5 and 5. Okay, they're both on the soft. We got the setup just right. And we head to qualifying. Alright, so we're going to get Fairline out there. And I'm going to start one car at a time. It's really short lap times, so it'll be easy to get one car optimized and then deal with the other. Alright, brakes are going to be the issue here. Here's the big braking section. Still braking, still braking. Okay. There's the heavy braking section. Now speed up, speed up, speed up. Come on. I need some temperature in those tires. There we go, there we go. Ooh, too much, too much, too much. Okay, perfect. And uh-oh. Here comes the rain. And it's going to be there for a while. I don't know if it's going to dry off or not, so I need to get DeVries out there right away. If I'm lucky, it'll dry off again. Verline's going to have a real advantage by getting probably the fastest lap. Verline could potentially be on the pole by being the first one on the track. If anything, I should probably run a little hot. Alright, brake temperature is a little bit hot. Tire temps are there. And Verline completes that first lap 3 seconds off the pace, but look how much slower. 2 seconds behind, 2.7 seconds, 4 seconds behind. Track's getting slower and slower. Freeze is going to have an awful time here. Verline's not running again. Certainly not on the intermediates or the wets. I mean, we're on full wets, but the rain is going to fade away here at about 5 minutes, and the track will dry out. So De Vries, it's important that we at least get a time. The slowest time so far, but they should get slower and slower. Oh, those intermediates are jumping up. So De Vries is going to be 19th right now. Yeah. Verline's not going to have a faster time on wets, but here goes. There we go. Track's going to dry out, so okay, gotta wait a little bit for it to dry. A little bit of time needs to pass. Wait for it to dry, dry, dry. There we go. Okay, track's just a little damp. Sun's coming out. It's warming up. Let's put on a fresh set of tires. And let's get De Vries out there. He needs it more. Verline will need it though. Obviously, he's about 2 to 3 seconds slow himself. With just over a minute. It's weird that it's kind of lagging this session. Oh, so close. So close. Perfect, perfect. Oh, I don't know if I've ever gotten them both perfect. Okay, so De Vries is about to go on a hot lap. We'll get Verline out there. You know what? There's only enough time for one lap. Let's wait about 30 seconds. De Vries should have a really good time for this one. The only thing is there's no grip on the track. So times will get faster as grip picks up, but I doubt that it's gonna, yeah, it's not gonna pick up much at all. Okay, so Verline. Fresh set of soft tires. And off you go. De Vries has fastest first and second sectors. And there are some other cars that have finished those first or second sectors. Okay, De Vries goes top by almost 5 seconds, but everybody's going to be putting in faster times now. There you go, De Vries drops to second. Verline's the one who's going to come plummeting down. Let's hope that De Vries can maybe hang on to a top 10 with that time. Okay, not totally perfect, but pretty close for Verline. Okay, and he's going to get the lap started just in time. 16 seconds to spare. Let's get him around. He's going fast. He just drove past 2 cars on their lap, so he's personal best first and second sectors. De Vries is hanging on to 10th. Verline jumps to 14th. So we'll start 10th and 14th. Not great, but considering that we are far more focused on our race setup than we are on the qualifying setup, I'll take that. But we weren't too far from maxing that out. But then again, our car is 9th out of 10 teams. So just the fact that we can crack the top 10 at all in qualifying is pretty amazing. Right, we move on to Sunday. Weight stripping's right. Get our bonuses for the day, and it's going to be the medium tires and the race trim. I've been finding myself having to pit 2 or 3 times a race. So the races are long enough to require that changeover, and these tires are gone so fast. Certainly way before the fuel, but of course when you have a good 75 or 80% of the fuel load, what, 80%? We were fortunate to be able to make a one-stopper once. But look how many cars, due to the fewer number of tire allocations, end up using partially used tires. I mean, Galeal's starting with a set of softs that already should be changed. So is Giotto and Jorg. 3 of them, all starting with sets of soft tires that are pretty toast. De Vries, slow start. Verline gets a good start though. But as seems to happen with me a lot, is he checks up a little bit as he comes up fast on the car ahead and ends up with the slower start than the one who had the slow start. Seen that happen far too often. Verline making a great move around the outside there though. Can't make it stick though. Can he? He gets one of the positions. De Vries trying to make a move to the inside as well. Meanwhile, Verline has moved up to 12th, just behind him. Now, Verline still has 2 parts that are not really well fit for racing hard. So Verline, especially now that you're behind your teammate, I need you to back off a bit. Backing off a bit doesn't mean slow down and let everybody go past you instantly. What the heck? Verline's caught 3 wide on the outside, and he's losing more ground. Come on, dude. Step it up. Okay, De Vries is just kind of hanging on. He's just about going hot here, so we'll start to turn things down there a bit. Okay, field is pretty tight at this point, and looking at tires, not very many cars are on the mediums. Most of the cars are on softs. You see everybody's burning through pretty fast. We're already down to 70-73% on the tires. So this is definitely going to be a multi-stop race with 33 laps yet to go. De Vries passed inside and outside on that one as he drops to 14th, and Verline's back to 16th now. Again, tires play a factor, but Giotto's already coming in. Alright, speed things along a little bit. Gotta keep an eye on Verline, make sure the tires don't get any hotter. They are a bit hot. The real danger zone's at the top. Okay, multiple cars have pit already. Verline is last place of those who have not pit yet. 5 cars behind him have all. Alright, so lap number 9. And we've got tires down to 30%. Starting lap. No, still, actually, my car's just started lap number 9. And Verline's about to run out, so it's going to take 3 stops at that rate. 9 laps per set. 9, 18, 27. That's a 3-stopper. And I've got 3 sets of tires, fortunately. 18 means I should be able to wait until the last the last stop to refuel. I think DeVries will make it one more lap. But even at 10, we're still looking at a 3-stopper. Okay, Verlaine's heading into the pits. Good stop, quick stop, 3.1 seconds. Okay, DeVries down to 27% on the tires. It's time to come in. Okay, and DeVries will probably end up fueling up next time if he makes it 10 laps again. Meanwhile, Verlaine comes out of the pits in 19th, and Giotto has already stopped twice and has worn tires on now as it is. Oh, mistake on the left rear, really? Loose wheel nut. An extra 3 seconds, 5.5 seconds. That was a conservative stop. That wasn't aggressive. Terrible. So with 3 seconds lost, DeVries loses a lot of ground there. And the loose wheel nut issue, he might not even make it back. Hey, look at that. My Mariners won their game 3-0. So DeVries' race is pretty much over. 1 corner to go. It looks like he's still on the go. And making it into the pits. But he lost a wheel, so... Hey, he's back to 4 tires. Let's try that again. So DeVries is way behind now. You can see huge gap. And outside of Giotto, who's stopped 3 times and has nothing but worn tires apparently to put on through this section of the race. Just facing an absolute nightmare of a race here. Though, a couple cars are having some issues, and that's helping a little bit. Alright, so Verlaine's up to 16th. I'm way out of the points for this one. %58%. Verlaine's going to be that next one to come in. Lap 17. Lap 18, I believe, would be the 999 ratio. Yeah, should be. And we're on lap 18 now. Well, the leader's on lap 18. No. Leader's not. Yes. Okay, we are on lap 18. And at 35%, I can make it 1 more lap, which would be 10, and that would leave me just over 10 laps worth of fuel for that final stop. So we're going to push this. We're going to see what our issue is. Suspension. So we're going to have to do a pit stop. And it's going to be a costly one. Because it's going to take 13 seconds. Which means I should be able to fuel up and get the fuel I need for the remainder of the race. Okay, we'll add an extra lap worth of fuel that we can maybe burn off. So if we're going to have to take time to fix a part, we might as well fuel up now. Excuse me. Alright, check it back in on DeVries. DeVries is up to 18th somehow. And just behind Galil. So we lose a wheel and have a massively slow lap and have to take 2 pit stops. And yet DeVries is still ahead of a couple of cars and just behind another. And now Verline's having issues as well. So this is a day of issues. That puts DeVries ahead of Verline. Not by much. Okay, let's not overdo this here. There we go. More than enough fuel to get to the end. So we're going to turn up the engine mode a bit for Verline. Let's see, who is that? Albin fixing a part. Looks like it didn't take him very long though. DeVries, meanwhile, is at 37% on these tires. I don't think he's going to get far enough along to make it a one-stopper. "15 laps to go." Let's see. If he can, he'll make up some ground. 31%. I really should be bringing him in this lap. With 14 to go. How many laps has he gone? This makes 11. If I could make it 12, I would still need 13. And he's going to lose a ton of time, so... But 23 seconds, is he going to lose 23 seconds? Twice? Probably. He's going to slow down a lot. Let's see how much the pace is off. 2/10. Okay, we're going around at least one more lap. It's a bit off the pace. Half a second to a second. That leaves 13 laps to go. Oh no, there's still 13 and a half laps for him to go. And he's on his 12th lap now. If I get one more, he's on the downside to that. Alright, so he'll pit this next lap. We'll try to get to the end on that. We need to give him enough fuel to make it to the end. There we go. Funny thing was, his pace is actually decent at the moment. He's not losing a crazy amount of times, so I think this is worth the risk. Especially as far back as I am anyway. We're definitely not going to lose to Giotto, who's almost 50 seconds back and in the pits fixing something now. He's having a howler of a race. Alright, so DeVries is in for what's hopefully his final stop. And it's a good one. A little bit of excess fuel. And he's back out on the track, just slipping to 18th there. Oh, and there's Giotto. So Markolov's right ahead of us. And here is Verline. Oh! No. Here comes the rain. You know, it's not going to get severe, though. It's supposed to go away pretty quick. Track's going to get wet and then dry right back out. So hopefully we can get by those couple of laps without changing tires. But meanwhile, Verline will have to stop again. It's not going to make it the distance. Yeah, quick shower. Track's gonna get pretty wet though. A lot of cars are pitting in. Hopefully the 23 second or so pit delta is gonna be a lot more costly, especially if you do it twice. 46 seconds? No. Let's say you lose 10 on track by going slow. Let's say you lose 12, 16. It's not 46. So I'm going to try really hard to stay out, take a risk, be bold. Verline will have to pit though before too long. Under 10 laps to go. Oh, you know what? Intermediates actually might be the thing to go with for Verline, as the track's still going to be wet at the end. So Verline's got to pit one more time anyway. He's already got enough fuel. Car's going to make it to the end. Verline's up to 10th at the moment. We're going to bring him in this lap. De Vries, I'm going to try to just leave him out and hope that he hangs on. How much slower is he? He's pretty slow. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. I've got to bring him in. He's losing a ton of time. It's not a little time. It's a ton. Yeah, see, everybody's pitting. Except for the, top 2? Okay, Verline's done just like that. Yeah, gonna be heading back out. And De Vries is in from the back of the field. It's only gonna lose 1 place, if that. And he does. And gets lapped. That could be a problem with blue flags. Okay, everybody on the track's on intermediates. A few of them, though, look like they might not make it to the end on the intermediates they're on. Alright, let's go check in on Verline, who's quite a bit higher up the grid. Do have to push a little bit to keep some heat in these tires. So Verline's running 13th, De Vries is 19th. And we've got 4 laps to go. Track is drying out. Alright, somebody retired. There's 1 place. That'll bring Verline up to 12th. So Verline moves around Giotto, who has stopped 5 times. De Vries has stopped 4. Not much better. Verline, at least, has only had to stop 3 times. 2 laps left. Meanwhile, De Vries has 2 laps left as well, because he's caught behind and lapped. Final lap. Okay, times are getting slow now. Track's too dry. Okay, 1 lap to go and 1.8 on fuel. So let's push let's push. Okay, let's get De Vries. They're about to finish the race. They did get up to 17th there, so they at least gained a spot. And here's Verline pushing for the end. In 12th, though, that's not a sponsor objective nor points, but there are 2 cars just ahead. He is closing the gap on him. It's not going to be enough. Not going to make it. And Verline finishes 12th. So this is actually my lowest finish of the year, but this was a disaster of a race as Verline had problems, De Vries had problems, I had weather. This race had it all. So for the 3rd race in a row, we managed to pick up 0 points, but we continue to be middle of the pack with a car that's not middle of the pack. So as I go through the season, and if I get the car a little closer to being middle of the pack itself, I think I can start finishing in the top half more consistently and squeak by a point here and there, which will hopefully be enough to keep us out of the relegation zone. And those 9 points already are a pretty big boost to that. Whoa, 20-second penalty for steady camera. See, there's still 4 drivers with no points, and MP Motorsport has no points. Russian Time has a couple now. Racing Engineering has 6. So we're still 6th place in the standings. And, you know, you can see the 9 points we picked up. If we were to pick up 9 points again, we'd be right back up into 3rd. But there's a whole lot of racing left to do in the season. I'll be doing 1 or 2 races off camera this time before we jump in again. There should be a bunch of new parts on the car. I should definitely have a couple working parts finally, functional parts on Verline's cars, so he's not having the reliability issues that he has currently. And another rider with Savanin. Okay. Anyway, so a couple races off camera, and then I'll see you again somewhere around round 7 of the championship, which will put us right about halfway. Quick check on our former series. Munoz is currently the series leader, and that's from the team that was relegated. Meanwhile, his teammates all the way down in 18th. In terms of teams, they are on top by just 3 points over Prima and ART and Campos, and then Arden as well. So, and Rapax, so tight in the championship this year. Alright, well, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.